what's really dangerous, but everyone treats it like it's safe.
Stress.
I feel like this should be way higher up than the people repeating alcohol and driving and the ocean over and over. Like for sure, all are dangerous, but stress. I have a prolactinoma, a tumor, not malignant or cancerous, but a friggin' tumor that literally secretes hormones, sitting on my MF pituitary gland causing all sorts of BS, and the root cause. Stress. Tumors, weight problems, sleep problems, relationship problems, all sorts of MF problems caused by stress. I am now going to stress about being stressed. Revealing personal information about yourself on the internet. Exactly why I have a whole fake identity on the internet. I usually sprinkle in a decent bit of bullshit with the truth. That way it's harder to know what's true and what's shit. And when you can't separate the shit from the truth, you can't figure out who I am. I get a lot of tourists in my area trying to casually summit the local 14,000-foot mountain in sandals. Some weeks in the summer are absolutely nuts for search and rescue and the emergency room staff. And then you have that crazy old guy in sandals that passes you on the way up and then passes you again on his way down before you've even made it up. 1. That guy is crazy. 2. That guy is old. He's got decades of experience. He knows the when and how of sandals. 3. Those sandals are probably Chacos. Household everyday cleaning chemicals. Especially if you mix them to make a better, stronger, cleaner. My mom always told me never to mix Windex and bleach. Windex is ammonia-based, so yes, that's very good advice. Mustard gas tends to lead to unpleasantness. Infections. Every person reacts differently to them. Don't assume you are the average. Sepsis is no joke. Met a woman and her husband in 2018 at a show, Nice People. Few months later, she messaged our group chat, and her husband had died of sepsis. He'd been sick but refused to go to the hospital because of expenses. In the end, he lost his life trying to save money. He was only in his early 30s too. Compressed air. I was once putting air in a car tire while on a road trip with a friend. After filling the last tire, I handed him the tube and started screwing on the cap. For some dumb f***ing reason, he thought it would be funny to stick the air tube in my ear and turn it on. I couldn't hear out of that ear for like 20 minutes, and it hurt so f***ing much. I probably should have gone to the hospital, but the pain went away almost instantly, and my hearing came back, so I just didn't f***ing go. Trampolines.
Especially with multiple people.
Long hair around pulleys and belts. There's a YouTube channel where two young ladies are working around a sawmill with long hair, and I can't count how many times people have begged them in the comments to tuck their hair up. They don't. In 11th grade, I had hair down to my butt and was weirdly pretty good at working the horizontal lathe at my school. Tons of rotating parts. It's used to cut and shave down pieces of metal. I had my hair in a ponytail instead of a bun, and I thought someone was pulling my hair, and then my head slammed down to the machine, and within like 3 seconds my hand broke 'cause I put my hand in to save my hair. My classmate pulled the plug on the machine and saved my life. Water on the road. You might be able to drive through it, but more often than not you shouldn't try to. Edit. Thanks for the gold, I appreciate it.
My brother literally drives into the puddle, and the idiot even says that it's safer to go faster in them because the water separates. He hasn't had an accident yet, but if he does one day, the likelihood of it being because of that backward mentality is quite high. Wild animals. I was in Thailand when a 30-year-old got bitten by a monkey. Her complaint? No one had warned her not to pet the monkeys. Honest to God.
The wild animal acted naturally. The true danger here was her stupidity. I would argue that, as a stupid person, She also acted naturally. Having your Snapchat location on. Yeah, I thought about it in high school and was wondering mostly why girls had it on. I knew girls that added random PPL for streaks. Dumb thing to do. The heat. I feel like people still dismiss it way too easily. I had a massive heat stroke about 5 years ago, and it almost took me out. My body will never be the same. It went through so much trauma that it now works harder to keep me cool, making me even more susceptible to heat-related emergencies. The bison living in Yellowstone. Other bisons too. Riding a horse is comparable with serious extreme sports, and head injuries are the most common. Sea kayaking. Simple, but you're in serious trouble if you flip around and can't get back in. My friend got a bad head injury from kayaking. She never made it to the water cause she hit her head on the rack trying to get the kayak off of it. Going to a bar, drinking, and driving home. It's so goddamn casual. I moved from a place that's really walkable, and with public transport, to one of the least walkable cities, where people don't live within walking distance of bars or restaurants. For a long time, I didn't understand how people have a nightlife here or go out without spending a fortune on Ubers. Turns out nearly everyone is casually driving around drunk. Motorcycles, ATVs, really anything without a cage around it. Even if you wear a helmet, the brunt of the impact force goes on your spinal column. Sunburns would be treated much differently if they were called by their true name, radiation burns. I will now only be calling them radiation burns.
Loneliness. The NHS, British healthcare system, did a study like this, develop a statistical definition of loneliness, a threshold of social connections, below which, the subject is pretty surely lonely. Examine the difference in death rate between people in the same demographic categories, who are lonely, as defined, or not lonely. Being lonely turns out to have about the same risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Blunt kitchen knives. One might think, oh, this is just a flat piece of steel, but cutting becomes tearing and crushing. The extra force this takes can easily send the knife off in an unintended direction in a swift and uncontrollable manner. Then you find out what a flat piece of steel can do to your fingers. 100% agree. I always got told and teach people that a sharp knife is safer as it will do what you want it to do. But a blunt needs more force and has a higher chance of slipping. Reminded me of a quote. A sharp knife goes where you want it to go. A dull knife goes where it wants to go. Those bullshit carny rides at state fairs. But the thrill of it all. The rusty bolts shaking, looking like they are about to snap off. Everything just being plugged in with some frayed extension cords from the 90s. Or the chain-smoking operator who looks like he's been awake for 48 hours from drinking or drugs. How could not feel safe with all of that? That is part of the experience. Driving. As a truck driver, I feel this to my core. Not many people realize how your entire life and the lives of so many others can change in an instant when you take your eyes off the road. I've seen far too many fatalities on the road in my 5 years as a truck driver.
That's all for today. If you have any stories, experiences, or tips related to today's topic, please share them in the comments below. That would be interesting for me and the viewers of the channel to read. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.